Well, good afternoon again. It's Margaret from M.E.s Orchids, and I've brought you back into the kitchen because I just want to have a look at these two mounted orchids that I've got here. And the reason I want to look at them is this is my Dendrobium macrophyllum, and it's got a tiny little root there. I don't know whether you'll see that. And it's got two growths there and there. It did have one there, but I knocked that one. And all of a sudden it's giving me a leaf that's, oh, and I think I've just discovered why it's doing that. If you'll notice there, I've got a slight bend. So that's got damaged. And what I thought what I'd do, you see these roots here, this is what dendrobiums do. They will abort their roots, and this has taken me weeks and weeks to get it back to this stage. There's another growth there. And what I want to do is I want to take it off this mount, and I want to put it with some sphagnum moss underneath just to see whether it'll enable these roots to come down and seek out that sphagnum moss. I'm going to just put this on the windowsill for a minute. Now this is the other one I want to just look at, and this is the Dendrobium polyanthum cinnamon primulinum, and this is doing fine. Now this is one that I had from Curling Orchidine, and it hated being disturbed, so much so that I got no roots. And you can see now I've got roots here coming down here. I've got roots coming over this twine here, and this is the twine that I use. And that one there, that's that new cane which was facing the wrong way in, and those roots are underneath this twine here. And I think that might be a little bit too tight. And that's my reasoning for wanting just to loosen this very carefully to see whether or not I can help those roots. Because if there's a twine, or sometimes people use this, which is fishing line. I do use that, but I don't use it as often these days, and I'm going to show you a couple why. And so if you'll just bear with me a minute now. Now, this is my Epicattleya El Attilio Santa Maria. And this was very badly affected by scale. And but I mounted this one after it cleared it of scale. And I just put a little bit of sphagnum moss there, and this has got this fishing line on, and you'll see there, can you see those lines there and there, where, can you see, it's very delicate, look at that root, very delicate, where the fishing line has actually damaged the root. And I keep looking at this one, I'm just wondering, I keep loosening the fishing line in the hope now that might be sufficiently anchored to that piece of bark because it's got some of the pieces going through here. And I'll just show you another one if you'll bear with me. There's another one. And this is the Elsie Bermondsey Palm. And if you remember, this is the one that had I bruised the roots there and there. And I put this one on this cork bark, and again with fishing line. But looking at it now, see, this root's going this way, that one's anchored there. There's a new root come out there, and somewhere under here there's a new root. I think it's gone down there now. And that one's searched out. This was the one that was facing actually the other way, and that now has got a new growing tip. So I think this May now I can start to loosen this wire, because all it does is really, can you see there, it cuts in to the roots, and if those roots get thicker it will just sever them, and we can't afford to lose roots, as you all know. So I'll put that one back up there, and let's just have a look at this one first, and this is the Dendrobium polyanthum. Now I don't normally do this type of video because I don't feel as though I'm experienced enough, and because sometimes when you try to mount them, and especially when you've got long canes like this one, and you get all fingers and thumbs, and like Roger sometimes says, you need a third hand, and I'm just thinking now, is it time to actually try mounting an orchid? Because sometimes you see you have to take them underneath. You have to be very, very careful. I'm going to cut that one. Now I have cleaned this this tray that I'm working on. I have cleaned it. Let's cut this other one now. And I've also sterilised these scissors. And sometimes, you know, I don't know what it is, sometimes you're more confident, and I suppose that's just called life. And even with orchids, some days you're more confident, and then other days you're just not quite as confident as you maybe were before, and you self-doubt yourself. And but really, I mean, we're all still learning. I mean, I'm still learning. It's taken me 3.5 years, and I'm only just sometimes understanding some of the concepts, and I'm one of those orchid growers that I haven't got an awful lot of knowledge. I don't profess to have knowledge at all in that regard, but you know, I'm willing to learn, and there's such a lot of nice, kind people out there who are willing to help. Now let's just have a look at this now. Let's see. Now I've moistened this before, and see, that's a root there, which is, it's not desiccated, and so that was the other part where the roots have gone down, and I thought this garden twine was actually strangling it, but it's not. And that one there, that's got those roots there. Let's have a look if this has got any root. Look at that, that's got a little root there, and this one here, look at that. So that's romping away, that is. So whatever I've done right, whatever I've done it right. And by just putting it with a little bit of sphagnum moss, what I might do here is, I've got some sphagnum moss already soaking, and I might just add a little bit more here, because it looks as though this orchid is going to travel with its roots up this mount. So let's this is where you, just checking that you're still in focus, this is where you need your 3 hands, and Keith sat in the other room sometimes I go to him and I'll say to him, oh, can you just help me, can you just hold this while I, and just while I do a knot. And of course he has to stop what he's doing, and I get the raised eyebrows sometimes, but he always helps. Right, now let's have a look. I've got this that's already been cut. That's not enough. So let's see what we can do. I noticed on one of Ed's videos he's going to try and not do his videos any more than 10 minutes in duration. And I thought, oh, that's quite a good idea. And because sometimes, you know, if they go on too long, you have to stop halfway through and then you pick it up later. But sometimes, like when I'm doing this now, you know, I get anxious for a start because of the cut off on the camera, and but something like this, especially if you're mounting something, you can't. I'm just going to cut this bit of twine here. There we go. You can't always put a time scale on it. Now let's have a look. What have I done here? So let's have a look. I hope you're still in frame. Okay. So what we've got to try and do is have the orchid so it's secure. There we go. Now I have to remember, I think that's too much. I'm going to take a bit of that off, because this orchid requires a winter rest, and if I have too much sphagnum moss during the winter, I might not realise it's holding that much moisture. So let's have a look now, because I know, of course, it's anchored itself onto that mount. I'm just going to take this round like this, and let me just see. That's the one there, can you see this one here? And I'm just wondering, I'm going to take that round there, and you see what I've done? Because what I don't want to do is have it actually restricted. And now where's this one here? This is what I find difficult, is when you turn it over. There we go. And where's that one? Oh, see what I mean? That one's just gone slightly there. So let's just take it back a little bit. Right, that one's just this one here. Right. And this is what I mean about putting a time restriction on your videos. Now let's just have a look. Okay, now that's where I've started, and this one I'm just going to bring just a little bit further down. I don't know whether you can see me there. Just brought that cane just a little bit further down. So now let me have a look. Tell you, I'm sweating cobs here, under stress. Let's have a look. Right. Okay. So what you don't want to do, of course, is trap a new growth, because that's what happened to that one. So you don't want to trap a new growth, but you want to make them feel nice and secure. So let's take 2 across there. Now I've got 2 across that one there. Oh, sorry about that. 3, 4. Come back over here again. I'm going to go behind that cane here. Bring that down. Have I got it in the right order? Is that the right one? No. Let's see if it'll go. What I'm trying to do is, that's it, that one, see there, that's what I'm trying to do, just so this one here has got some purchase on that mount there, but then by going across there you've got to be careful you're not trapping that one, so you have to, that's it. Whew, tell you. Now let's see how I'm doing now. And this is where sometimes I need Keith while I knot this here, and I don't think you're probably going to see how I'm doing it. Right, got a little bit of sphagnum moss there. Well, I'm going to cut that off. I'm going to put the label here. That'll tuck down there again. And it will do in a minute when I pull it through. And I won't cut them off for a minute, but let's just have another look at it now. So that was that root under there that I thought was being trapped, and it isn't. And that was that root there. Now it's got some purchase against that cork bark, and hopefully, let me just bring you up. There we are. And hopefully this one will ramp away now. So I'll put that one on there. And now, am I going to have enough time to just check this one out? Let's have a look. There we go. Let's pull it all off if we can, without doing too much damage, especially to those new growths I've got there. Can you see? Let's have a look. Now this is one that I also put outside, and it hated it outside because of course we went into that warm weather, and this one just absolutely didn't like it at all. So let's just have a look now and see. So that's the cork bark. Make sure there's nothing lurking down there. I did find another crawley upstairs in the in the grow room, and let's have a look. See, there's no roots there. Look at that. Can you see? Absolutely no roots at all. So the only way this is going to survive is by those new shoots there, those new growths there. Can you see? Sorry. Those new growths there sending out roots. Right. Let's just chop a couple of these off and hope there we go. See, absolutely nothing. I'm not going to use that sphagnum moss there because some of those dead roots have gone into it. So let's just put a little bit of sphagnum moss there. What I want, you see, this one sits. It sits proud. That's what. There, you see. I like it to sit on that mount. And then when it hangs forward. Put a little bit of sphagnum moss just under those growths there, so that if they do send any roots out, they'll be able to anchor down. Let's just push that under there. And see if I can wrap some of this garden twine around here. Bear with me, I've just dropped it on the floor. Right. So this is one where you're going to have to manoeuvre yourself around these canes, bearing in mind I have got a new growth, and so you're not so bad once you've got it anchored down. Can you see what I'm doing there now? Let's take it this way now. There we go. And then round, bearing in mind I've got these two growths which I mustn't damage. Where's the other one? I've got sphagnum moss on the other one. I don't want to do that, because what I don't want to do, of course, is have these new growths rot on me. So let's see if I can then bring this through this way. Seems to be fairly firm now that I can actually hold on to one side, and now I have to show you this, because this what happens when you feel as though you're under stress and you've got big clumsy fingers. Can you see? Wouldn't that just, look at that. I've broken that, one of those growing tips off. But unfortunately, sometimes this happens and we all curse and we all wonder how we manage to do that when we're so careful. But the thing is, the new growths and the new roots are so fragile that I've got that other new growth there now, and I think that new root's tucked in there. And like I say, they're so fragile. Yeah, that new root's there, you see. Can you see that new root? Just tucked under there. They're so fragile that you need to get enough anchorage down so the orchid feels nice and secure. But then, if you're not careful, you can just damage a new growth. Just have to hope now that it'll give me another new growth. I mean, that's a new growth there. So I'm going to wrap this round this here and wrap it round there as well. And then I'll turn her over. And you see she's turned over now. And let's put her through there and tie it off. I mean, there's nothing you can do when you knock a growth off. I mean, we all do it and we all curse, and even the most experienced of us can knock a new growth off. There we go. But she's got a little bit of sphagnum moss. She may well send another growing tip there, and I'll put a label on now, but she's got that little bit of sphagnum moss, and that's the Dendrobium macrophyllum. And before the video runs out, and I do apologise for the length of the video, I just wanted to show you this for those people who have got no roots. I think this is Pastoral Innocence, and this is the one that I just wrapped up. I've had this bare rooted, well, there's no roots, for months, at least 6 months. And what I wanted to show you there was that there's a new root, and there's 1, 2, 3. Presumably the growths, I'm not too sure. But anyway, thank you for joining me, thank you for your patience, and enjoy your afternoon. Take care, and we'll speak again soon. Bye bye now.